something? Well, everybody, Jeff Williams here with ShipWilliams.com. Yeah, I know what we're doing today. Well, for some of you seasoned prospectors out there, you probably already recognize the mountains in the background. That's Turtle Mountains. And what's this? That's right. That's Charlie Brown's cabin. Yeah, that's really his name. Anyway, this is Charlie Brown's cabin right here. And of course, there was another cabin over here. And back in, I think 2012 was the last time this thing was standing. And it has beds in there and chairs and a sink. It's got everything. But of course, the wind coming in out behind the mountain here knocked this darn thing over. Anyway, this is a really neat place. Why? Because this is the Lost Arch Inn. Now, for some of you people who don't know what the Lost Arch Inn is, those mountains back there in Turtle Mountains, that's right. There's supposedly a rich gold mine back in there, and it's right located below an arch, a natural arch in the basalt. Somebody found it, and people have been looking ever since. Now, Charlie and his friend Jesse came out here and built this back in about 1922. It was called the Lost Arch Inn for people coming through here looking, and prospectors, they could stay the night over there. And they take care of them. Well, also there's a mine back behind here too. We're gonna go take a look at that, and it had its own mill. And then I'm gonna give you some history and some more geology, cause I know that's what you like. So you know what I'm gonna say, huh? Do you know what I'm gonna say? Oh, I don't want to touch him. He might fall over. So come on, let's go.
Be the space at the center. Be nothing, and you will have everything to give to others.
You know, if a mine has its own mill, it's pretty rich. And I know you're thinking, Jeff, where did it all come from? I don't know. Let me take a look around. I think it came from over here. Let me take a look. Yeah, I think it came from down here. Okay, so this is the mine I was telling you about. Now, I want you to take a look at this real quick. If I can get my VLF to sit still. Now see this granite right here? And I got granite there. Now see how it's being cut at about a 45-degree angle by these parallel silica veins, quartz veins. And then in the middle, what is that? See that green shale that's in between them? Now the green, of course, is coming from chlorite. And I told you, gold travels in a chlorine base or a sulfur base. So I always like finding green. And then we'll go into that in a minute, why green is so important. And some greens are not important. Anyway, you can see this massive quartz vein right here. That must be a foot wide. And then down here you can see where it's been altered and banded. And this is what they were following down. Of course, here's the porthole right here. But if you take a look inside, you can see where they've stoked the heck out of this vein. Take a look. Hey, how did I get in here? How the heck did I do that? Woo, yeah. Wow, look at that vein right there. See that? Beautiful looking, well-defined vein all the way down, running at a 45-degree angle. Look at that. Beautiful. You can see where it's been stoked over here. See that? That's nice. And see the quartz vein right there? Well-defined. And then there's that green shale right there. See that? And more quartz vein right there. That's beautiful. All the way down. Look at that. Oh, look at that. A little bird's nest. Ooh, I don't see any eggs in it. How'd I do that? I don't know. It's an old trick Slim taught me. Anyway. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go around the old mine dumps, use my VLF, and then I'll teach you some geology of the surrounding hills and more of the story. And then I'm going to teach you something really cool. So you better stay tuned so you know what I'm going to say, huh? Do you know what I'm going to say? Oh, they don't know. They're sleeping. So come on. Let's go. Woo, I think I got something. Oh, what do we got here? Well, this is the old car corral right next to the Lost Arch Inn. This is a collection of cars from days gone by. And you see that one in the back there? That's mine. Only 10 more payments, and it's mine. Anyway, these are the kind of cars they used to drive out here when they were looking for gold back in the 30s and 40s. Can you imagine running around in the desert in one of these? Woo-wee, but obviously they made it. You don't see them like this anymore. These are some really nice looking cars back in the day. So I just thought you'd get a kick out of looking at some of these old cars that they used to drive out here in the desert when they were looking for gold. So anyway, let's head on over there and see if we can find some gemstones or something. Because I gotta have something. Something! So come on! Let's go! Come on! Where's the gold? Whew! Who needs a gem? Just be a gold miner. Come here, take a look at this. Okay. I got all these prospect pits over here. Quartz everywhere. Looks like bull quartz. This is what I want to show you. When you're in these sites and you find these vugs of heavy iron oxides, blacks, dark browns, dark reds inside of here, dig these out, crush them, pan them, because chances are this is where the gold is. Also, this material right here, I want you to get a good look at that. See that? It's called breccia. Remember I talked about that in another video? It's where the quartz fragments have been broken up and then re-cemented with a fine ground mass. You usually see that in hydrothermal deposits. Crush these up, check to see if there's gold in them. Because usually there's gold that's going to be in the fine ground mass here. And this is usually a good sign of mineralization. Of course, it tells me, and I already knew this was an epithermal, and it's a shallow system. So I'll take these back and crush them up. Now, I'm going to go back to the cabin over there. Sample piles everywhere. Somebody was collecting. Now, I'm going to put them all in bags and number them, of course, and then we'll take it back to the shop and crush to see if there's any gold. So we're going to head back there, and then I'm going to tell you the story of the Lost Arch Mine. Yeah. And all this volcanic, beautiful volcanic material back here behind me. Man, I wish I could spend a week up in those mountains, I'll tell you what. And I'll tell you something else. There is gold up in there. I ain't gonna tell you just yet, so you'll have to follow me. I ain't gonna ask, cause you already know, so, but you're coming home with me. So come on, let's go. I know, right? It'll work you, I tell you. Oh, look at this. See that? That's an old razor. Remember those old razor blades? I do. Okay, what do I know about the Lost Arch Mine? First of all, I'm going to put all the links to all the information I know down below. So if you're curious, I got links from the old desert magazines, if you remember those from the 40s and 50s all the way up to the 70s. Now keep in mind, there are several arches up in this whole area. Remember, this is all basalt, and you got a lot of rhyolite in here too. A lot of these rhyolite plugs like this mountain right behind me. I got basalt dikes running everywhere. So it's not uncommon to have some type of weathering on these dikes and of course on the rhyolite and create these natural arches. So you're going to see about 3 or 4 different arches up in here. Now, I personally believe that to find this area, you take this road to the left and it takes you up by Coffin Spring. Up back behind Coffin Spring, there's a little road that takes you up behind there. And I think that's the area that it came from, just based off my own personal geological expertise. Now there's another spot over there by Mohawk Spring on the other side of the mountain range, where if you read the old reports from the 40s, they said they came up through there and they found an arch. But they didn't find any gold, they just found an arch and a large cactus, and of course that plays into the story. I'm going to leave links down below. Now, there was 2 gentlemen who said they found it. One back in the 70s, he researched the heck out of this and he said he found it. And a guy just recently, I'll tell you who he is, but he said he found it, him and his wife. And they said that the mine is actually about 50 feet from the road where you park. It's a small tunnel, and unless you're standing on top of it, you wouldn't even see it. And there's 2 foundations to buildings that used to be there, and it's kind of grown over, so you really have to look for it. He said that most of the gold is very small, like about rice grain size, and then you're not going to get rich off of it, but it is there right below the mine, and that's why they probably start tunneling into there. That's what I can tell you about the Lost Arch Mine. I do believe it's up in there. It's not super rich like everybody says it is, but there is gold up in there. And yeah, you'll see an arch when you get into the little wash. And remember, the story will tell you to go a certain direction is where the mine is. go 180 degrees the other way. Now, I don't know if they did that on purpose, but the mine is on the other side, 180 degrees. And it's in a little tiny wash canyon. It's kind of tight. And when you get up on it, you'll see it, and it'll all make perfect sense to you. And the arch is pretty good size, and I'll leave some links down below to some of the arches people have found, and you try to figure out which one it is. So, well, I hope you enjoyed today's short little video out here at the Lost Arch Inn. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please rate, share, and subscribe. And of course, leave me and Slim a comment, because we like to know what you think about all this craziness out here. So until next time, this is Jeff Williams with who? That's right, that's JeffWilliams.com. Saying you're looking for lost treasure, but you don't want to waste your time. If you're looking for lost gold, look for a gold mine. Take care, everybody. All right, what do we got here? You might want to take a look at this material real quick, because I think it's important. See this? This is called tuff, volcanic tuff. It's ash flow that's basically solidified, see that? Into a hard material, so they call that tuff, volcanic tuff. And you'll see it all around these volcanic zones. And sometimes they have mineralization in it. Somebody's been digging. Alright, and you can see that I've got this conglomerate on top here. See all that conglomerate? And look at this. We got some pretty looking agate. Look at that. I personally like fire agate. So isn't that pretty? There's a whole bunch of it coming out of here, so I might tunnel some of this stuff out too. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Woo, Turtle Mountains, you gotta love them.
He would never be strong enough to go back for more, however, and the secret of the mine's location went with him to the grave.